And thank you for joining us for the 2021 Australian of the Year Awards, and it's quite nice to say that year in your mouth, I have to say. I'm Rick Goddard from ABC Radio Hobart. It's my great pleasure to be your host this afternoon in this beautiful setting of Town Hall. Although proceedings will look somewhat different this year due to social distancing regulations, we still have a prestigious event ahead, and our nominees will have looked in that video at the company that you now sit and stand in, and what an honour it is to be part of that group of people, our Australians of the Year. It's such an incredible legacy. Please enjoy the occasion, stay COVID safe. We have social distancing award handover protocols as well that you'll notice, and to our audience online, welcome, thanks for joining us on Facebook. In this year of all years, the Australian spirit has come to the fore. Through natural disasters and coronavirus lockdowns, our nation's heroes have inspired awe with their selfless acts. Whether braving bushfires to save the lives of people and wildlife, showing kindness through charity to help those in need, or caring for people who have suffered through the ongoing pandemic. The best of us have displayed qualities that make us proud to call Australia home, and the rest of us have washed our hands a lot. It's been a truly extraordinary year, and our nominees are truly extraordinary Australians, and I look forward to you all getting to meet them today. We don't often get a chance to thank them in person, so I'm sure on behalf of all Tasmanians, those of us here who are guests and friends would like to thank all of our nominees now. Can we give them a round of applause? Well done. This afternoon you are welcome, whilst your phone is on silent, to join us and recognise our heroes by posting on social media. So please share your support. The hashtag is #OzOfTheYear. You can see it on the screen there. And you can share please on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and amplify the message of the example of the lives and efforts that our nominees have made. It really makes such a big difference. I'd like now to invite to the stage Auntie Brenda Hodge to welcome us to country. Please make her welcome.
Thank you, Rick. Ya Paulinanya, Miladina Mana Mapali too. Welcome to all of you here on our land. I'm a proud descendant of Manalagenna and the Parabeni people from Tipukana in northeastern Tasmania. I show respect to my elders, past, present and emerging. I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land on which we gather today, the Muwinina people, who roamed this land for more than 60,000 years. It is a privilege to stand on their country. Muwinina Laikara Miladina Kipli Mulaka. It was here that the Muwinina hunted for food. Miladinata Nayapi Naramapali. Miladinata Krakapaka Naramapali. They gave birth on country, they died on country. Lumi Ningimpi Manamapali. Nangampi Manamapali. Lurini Warranta Mapaya Wineni Naramapali. Our ancestors are still here. We feel them all around us. Warranta Ninina Naramapali, Peiruta Niakara. They give us our dreaming. Warranta Takara Miladina Nara Mapali Takara. We walk where they once walked. Miladina Nika, this is our country. Miladina Mana, this country is us. Warranta Palawa Miladina Nika. We are this country. With pride and on behalf of our ancestors, I welcome each of you to Aboriginal land, Nipaluna, Hobart, Lutruwita, Tasmania, and I extend my sincere congratulations to all of the nominees. Nairi Ninatu, thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Brenda, and what a privilege for our nominees to be acknowledged in the language of this land and the living language of this land. It's now my duty to welcome our official guests here today as well. The Tasmanian Australian of the Year Awards is co-hosted by Her Excellency Professor Honourable Kate Warner, Governor of Tasmania, and also acknowledge Mr Warner as well. Also the Honourable Peter Gutwein MP, Premier of Tasmania, who unfortunately can't be with us in person today, but we know that that doesn't matter now and he will be with us digitally. Today's official guests, the Honourable Elise Archer MP representing the Premier, the Honourable Rebecca White MP and leader of the Tasmanian Labor Party, and Dr Rosalie Woodruff representing the Tasmanian Greens. Welcome and thank you for being here today. We've received this year more than double the number of awards nominations, reflecting the enormous challenges we face together and how many people in our community have stood up to meet them. From those nominations located here, our Tasmanian panel has selected 16 incredible people that we're celebrating this afternoon. One recipient will soon be announced in each category: Australia's Local Hero, Young Australian of the Year, Senior Australian of the Year, or Senorita, as someone suggested we should call it, and Australian of the Year. These four will then go on to join the other state and territory recipients at the National Awards on the eve of Australia Day, announced by the Prime Minister and broadcast live on ABC TV and iView. Whatever the outcome this afternoon, all of our nominees richly deserve to be here, and we congratulate them for reaching this important stage of the nation's most prestigious awards program. Let's congratulate them one more time. As I said, unfortunately, Premier Peter Gutwein is unable to be with us today, but he has filmed this clip to share some words with you this afternoon.
Hello everyone, and I'm sorry I can't be there with you today. Each year our nation celebrates the achievement and contribution of outstanding Australians through the Australian of the Year Awards by profiling leading citizens who are role models for us all. They inspire us through their achievements and challenge us to make our own contribution to creating a better Australia. The Australian of the Year Awards recognise people in our communities who give selflessly of themselves and whose contributions ignite discussion and change on issues of national importance. The awards provide all Australians with the opportunity to recognise someone they consider worthy of your attention in four categories: the Australian of the Year, the Senior Australian of the Year, the Young Australian of the Year, and Australia's Local Hero. Being nominated for the Australian of the Year Awards is a great honour. The awards give the community an opportunity to recognise and reward someone who makes them proud to be an Australian. Finalists have been shortlisted by the panel for their significant contribution to the Australian community, their positioning as an inspirational role model, and their demonstrated excellence in their respective fields. I wish all of you the very best, and importantly, thank you for your contribution to our state. The fact that you are a finalist demonstrates the regard and respect with which you are held in our community. My very best wishes to you all.
Thank you, Premier, and I'd like to also acknowledge our former Tasmanian Australian of the Year Award winners and nominees who join us today. Family and friends, welcome. It's so nice to have all of you here. Our first award this afternoon is Australia's Local Hero, and this award recognises Australians making a significant contribution to their local community. Let's take a closer look at this category and the important work of some of the amazing recipients over the years.
Local heroes are really important to keeping Australian communities strong because they're the glue. They're there to inspire, to communicate with, to stay motivated, to lift everybody in that community when the chips are down.
I stand before you not as an individual, but as a proud representative of every teacher around the country.
Community's much more than belonging to something. It's about doing something together that makes belonging matter.
Anything's possible. You are the answer. And it only starts with a simple thing.
Australia's Local Hero category was added to reflect so many Australians out there that contribute to their local community.
When I give, I feel incredible joy, but I also feel this great sense of connection.
Our local heroes are everyday Australians who achieve extraordinary things. These are Australians who we celebrate as an example of what we can achieve when we put others before ourselves.
Australia's Local Hero Award celebrates remarkable Australians who go above and beyond to be active citizens, making extraordinary contributions in their local communities and showcasing our Australian values. They do not seek praise, but simply want to make their community a better place. So congratulations to all of the finalists in the Australia Local Hero Awards.
Out of our almost countless millions of fellow Australians, we choose this handful each year to honour them, to support them and to encourage them.
Out of our tragedy, we created Dolly's Dream, a vision to educate families and communities on the impacts that bullying has on young lives.
To our Aussie kids doing it tough, hang on, don't give up, help's on the way.
These are the people that form the fabric of our nation. They're on call 24/7 and will jump whenever there's an emergency or someone needs help. And as I say, they show you what's great about the people of Australia.
Acknowledges so much vital work at a local level in communities all around our state. The nominees for the 2021 Tasmanian Local Hero are
Tony Johnston, a volunteer at the Tasmanian Lost Pets Register, which finds missing pets and returns them safely to their homes. Since 2012, Tony has built a Facebook community of over 53,000 members. She single-handedly leads a team of volunteers across the state, dedicating 6 to 12 hours a day to finding lost animals. In the past year, she has helped coordinate the return of up to 3,000 animals to their homes. Tony is also committed to educating the community on pet registration, microchipping and desexing to help protect our four-legged friends. Eva McKinley, who aims to change the use of plastic drinking straws in venues across the nation. Eva works with businesses and communities to reduce the number of straws being used and helps them transition to a reusable alternative. Since Eva started the initiative in 2015, she's encouraged around 1,000 Australian venues to change their straw use, saving about 20 million plastic straws from entering the waste system. Her achievements have inspired a network of eco-warriors from around the globe to become advocates in their own communities. EDNA PENNICOTT, who provides care packages of food and other essential items to people facing financial hardship. Through Kingborough Helping Hands, EDNA collects these goods herself and personally delivers many of the packages. She also operates an after-hours mobile van service that offers hot food and support to people who are sleeping rough. EDNA recently received an inaugural Aurora Energy Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of 40 years of dedicated service to the most vulnerable members of the community. Suzanne Smith, who has volunteered for Ambulance Tasmania for 14 years at the Sorell Ambulance Station. As an ambulance officer, she attends patients with a paramedic, putting people at ease with her kind and gentle nature. In her role as volunteer coordinator, Suzanne looks after volunteers, organises their training and keeps the station running smoothly. Suzanne also volunteers regularly at the Royal Hobart Hospital, supporting and reassuring patients and their families in the waiting room at the emergency department.
Give those nominees a round of applause. Fantastic. Three of our Australia Local Hero nominees are in the room with us. Eva is joining us on Zoom from Melbourne. So Eva, hi. Hello. And can our nominees stand up and so we can all see who they are and give them a well-deserved round of applause and some acknowledgement. Congratulations. It's my honour to invite Her Excellency Professor the Honourable Kate Warner, Governor of Tasmania, now to the stage and share a few words with us. And in that envelope on her lectern is our winner.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Thank you, Governor.
And thank you very much, Auntie Brenda, for your wonderful welcome to country. I just love hearing Palawakani, and I think the more we hear, the more we'll be accustomed to the language. So thank you so much for that. For me, it's really a great pleasure to be here for the Tasmania Australia of the Year Awards this year. I've enjoyed every year immensely, and I'm always just so inspired to hear the various stories, the amazing contribution that members of our community make. It really is so inspiring and heartwarming, and I'd like to congratulate all of the nominees today. So,
thank you so much, Your Excellency. Yes, could you tell us now, who is the 2021 Tasmanian Local Hero?
So the 2021 Local Hero for Tasmania is EDNA PENNICOTT.
This is our social distance, COVID-safe handover procedure, which we're just finding our way through. So thank you for your good-natured excellence. And Edna, thank you for going first. Congratulations.
It's unbelievable.
Not that unbelievable, because you've written some words down.
I was told I had to write something. I was told I had to write something down and not waffle on.
Go on.
I'd just like to say I'm honoured to accept this award today, not for myself, but for every man, woman and child, and especially the children, that help make Helping Hands the successful little charity that it's become. And I'd just like to say, the truth is there is not one hero here today, but every person that's helped Helping Hands is a hero. And they've put a lot into the charity. So on behalf of all of them, I say thank you.
Thank you so much. So Edna, I'm really curious, 40 or so years ago when you began this, what was your inspiration? What did you want to change?
I just wanted to, I was seeing children that suffered and didn't get anything for Christmas, and people who were really struggling, and I'd been through a couple of little hardships myself, and I just thought if everybody did one little thing for someone, just one act of kindness, what a difference in the world we could make. So that was the inspiration. I started off just leaving little things on people's doorsteps and just putting Santa wishes you a Merry Christmas. And it just grew, and it's grown and grown and grown. So 40 years later, here we are.
The organisation's called Helping Hands, and
Kingborough
you
Helping Hands, yes.
head it up, but you also stay very much hands-on. Why is that work important to you?
I think you've got to keep busy, otherwise you sit down and do nothing, and when you get old, you've got to keep moving. The bone seize up.
What do you think you receiving this award will do for you, but also for everyone in your organisation?
I think it will inspire, well, I'm hoping it will inspire more people to think more about people that are less fortunate than ourselves, because when we look at ourselves, we are truly, grateful, and we're lucky. So look at those people that aren't as lucky as we are, aren't as fortunate. The child that hasn't got the good shoes and the uniform for school and, things that the other children have got. Just do an act of kindness for someone.
And it could just be leaving strange notes on people's doorsteps. It all starts with one step. Edna, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Isn't it so inspiring to see where having that impulse, as many of us do, but actually acting on it can lead you 40 years later? Wow, amazing, Edna. So lovely to hear more about what you do. Now we go to the Young Australian of the Year category. This award recognises inspiring young Australians aged between 16 and 30 who have accomplished great things already in all walks of life.
Since 1979, we've had the Young Australian of the Year category, and that's acknowledging 16 to 30-year-olds. And let's face it, youth is the future of the nation.
I truly view this award not just as for me, but rather as an endorsement of the achievements of Australian women's football national team, and more broadly, Australian women's football and women's sport in general.
Whether it be through encouragement, support, or their own ambition, we all deserve the chance to dream. So dream big, Australia, because anything's possible.
Inspiring others, educating others, celebrating the fact that we have a fantastic country to live in where we can be and grow to our full potential.
We have the power to shape the future and make Australia a place where we're all proud, where we all belong, and where we stand united.
This award ceremony is in a sense a celebration of the idea that individuals use his or her ability to give back to our great nation.
To look at our Young Australians of the Year is to glimpse into the future of our great nation. Their tenacity, commitment and success defy their age. These are young Australians who are making a lasting difference to our great nation.
It takes about 1 hour to wash and dry someone's clothes, and after about 2 minutes to set up, there's not a huge amount to do. So we pull out the 6 orange chairs and everyone sits around and has a really nice chat, and that 1 hour time is a really powerful time for that.
You look for integrity, you look for human decency, and you look for energy.
For me, it's my whole life, all of my team, everyone that I work with, it's about being your authentic self. Like I said, just trying to do the best that you can, regardless of what you do, whether it's in sport, in life, in anything. So this is incredibly humbling, and I know that it's going to be something that sits very, very, very high on my mental peace at home.
I dream of an Australia where people are not afraid of learning Auslan, of having a go and uniting with a language that is uniquely Australian.
When you look at what they've done, and you look at where they're going, we're in good hands.
It's so clear from these awards that at any age you can reach out beyond yourself to make a difference in the community that you live in. Our nominees for 2021 Tasmanian Young Australian of the Year are...
Robert Bramley, whose solo flight around Australia has raised awareness and funds to prevent youth suicide. After almost losing 2 close friends to suicide, Robert decided to use a solo flight to promote positive discussions around mental health in rural communities. At age 16, Robert broke the world record for his 15,000-kilometre journey around Australia. His advocacy has been instrumental in bringing public attention to youth mental health, as well as generating significant donations for Beyond Blue. RULLA Kelly MANSELL, who supports and promotes positive mental health in young people. After struggling with depression through his teen years, RULLA decided to use his own experience to help other young people navigate the challenges of life. He founded Make Runs Maxi in honour of a student who took his own life. RULLA now works with schools, sporting clubs and community groups to help young Tasmanians support each other and enhance their social and emotional health and well-being. TOBY THORPE, who has helped to launch Tasmania as a global leader in renewable energy innovation. Through Toby's initiatives, Huonville High School won the International Zayed Sustainability Prize. Toby organised the first ever statewide Climate Leaders Conference and led the Tasmanian youth delegation as part of the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Toby is also Executive Director at the Climate Justice Initiative, which runs in-school workshops to help young people understand their power to make a positive impact in the world. Luke Williams, who improves the lives of children living with autism or a disability. After his nephew was diagnosed with autism, Luke started a charity to bridge the gap for therapy costs. Lend a Hand to Hugo has now distributed more than $100,000 to families across Tasmania. The funding has been used to fill the therapy cost gap, acquire resources, and provide entry-level sporting opportunities for children who wouldn't otherwise be given them. Luke continues to advocate for awareness and inclusion, supporting the autism and disability community to fulfil their unique potential.
What a great group of nominees. It's so exciting. And we have 3 of our Young Australian of the Year nominees in the room with us. And Luke is joining us on Zoom. G'day, Luke. Hi. Oh, yeah, he's muted. Can I ask the other nominees to stand up where you are, please, so we can acknowledge your work with a huge round of applause. Your Excellency, if you'd like to join me on stage again to reveal for us who is the 2021 Tasmanian Young Australian of the Year.
So the 2021 Young Australian of the Year for Tasmania is Toby Thorpe.
Congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
Now, it was a bunch of years ago where the producer of the breakfast program, Joe Spargo, who's with us today, said, oh, there's this guy down Huon, but he seems to have got tens of thousands of dollars for climate something in Huonville. And that's the first time I spoke to you. Since then, you've travelled as far as the United Nations. What was it like to represent Australia overseas?
Yeah, look, it's been a long 6-year journey from that 6 years ago starting at my local high school and then going all the way to the United Nations was a real honour. And not an honour just to be there, but an absolute honour to represent not only Tasmania and Australia, but all young Australians who are feeling the effects of the impacts of climate change, but also young Australians that have climate change at the forefront of their minds every day. So that was the biggest honour, was to be there representing my generational peers here in my own country.
When you first started it and you were talking to your peers at Huonville High, or Huonville High, it's very stylish, and teachers, what was their initial response to you saying, oh, we're going to make this school climate leader in Australia?
Yeah, look, there was one person that really put that forward to me, and that was NEL SMIT, who's also a nominee here tonight. We've been on this journey together for the last 6 years, and she was the first person to truly believe in not only me, but also all the other students at Huonville High School. And then having a principal like Jeff Williamson, who's over there too, who really cannot say no, was also the most incredible thing that nurtured me to become who I am today. And every single day I appreciate every single person at Huonville High School, which sometimes is not always at the forefront of the top schools in Tasmania, but it is truly an incredible place.
There sometimes seems to be an emotional generation gap in terms of people's sense of urgency about climate change. When you talk about the feelings of young people, young Australians, as they express themselves to you, what do they say to you?
I mean, what young people say to me is what keeps me going, and especially being at the United Nations, I've met young people who visit their parents' graves underwater. I've met young people who are being displaced by the climate crisis right now. And I meet young people all across the country that we live in who want to make a difference for our generational peers that live in other areas of the world. And that's what I say, is climate change is not an environmental issue, it's not a political issue, it's an issue about people. Understanding what is actually happening around the world is so important. I never knew that I would meet another young person whose parents' grave is now underwater. They weren't, their funeral wasn't at that time, and that's absolutely heart-wrenching for me, my connection I have with my parents, and I relate to that.
How will this award help you in terms of being heard?
I mean, this award is not about me being heard, it's about my generation being heard. It's time that we move beyond politics into a space where we can actually care about our future. The decisions that are being made today are inherited by my generational peers. And, you know, this award is recognising all the other young people around the country, hundreds of thousands of young people, we've seen that on the streets before, who want to make a difference. This award is recognising every single one of them because it's, again, you know, it's not a single person that makes these differences, it's every single person needs to join together.
We've heard some thanks for some of your mentors. Is there anyone else you'd like to mention?
Just everyone who is here today. People like EDNA, I'm so inspired hearing your story. You know, 40 years of dedication. Never underestimate the power that we all have together to make a difference in our community. But thanks to my parents have joined me on a journey of, oh no, what's Toby come up with now? And they've been the most resilient people I could ever, you know, ask for. They've stuck with me the whole step of the way. It's been quite a journey, but of course the biggest thanks is to all my mentors, peers and supporters.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Our next award is Senior and Señorita Australian of the Year. This award celebrates the ongoing achievements of Australians aged 65 years or over, which is barely senior anymore, who continue to challenge themselves and inspire others.
Our senior Australians are so inspiring. A lifetime of work. They can really show the young people of Australia a way forward. And these awards where we recognise the Senior Australian of the Year is a real platform to put them in the spotlight.
Only by accepting, correcting and building on mistakes can we eventually experience the satisfaction of doing something or seeing something that has never been done or seen before.
I pray that all people in our wonderful country, Australia, regardless of language, culture, skin colour or religious belief, may stand tall as proud Australians.
Reading is probably the most powerful thing that you can give to a child, reading and stories.
It's a reflection and acknowledgement of people who have pretty much had a lifetime of making a contribution to this nation and inspiring those people around them.
We are a nation built on stories, and the stories our Senior Australians of the Year tell are of tireless dedication, perseverance and commitment to improving the lives of others. This award gives us an opportunity to celebrate our Senior Australians and the achievements of their life's work.
Senior Australians have contributed greatly to the building of this nation. The Senior Australian of the Year Awards are an opportunity to recognise the outstanding contribution that you continue to make. The people nominated for these awards are role models for their families, their peers, for all Australians, no matter their age.
We need to remember that we adults are the drivers for the world our children experience every day. Raising children is so much more than a family responsibility.
The road has not been easy, and we need to be more accepting of each other.
I stand here representing all of you. This is a whole-of-nation effort now, and I'm very proud and thrilled that this award will help propagate our efforts.
Our Senior Australians have had a lifetime of experience, but it doesn't stop now.
The Senior Australian of the Year category have and continue to shape our nation.
The nominees, if Her Excellency will join me on stage shortly after that, for the 2021 Tasmanian Senior Australian of the Year are...
Derek Benson, who volunteers 3 times a week for City Mission in Youngtown. He was previously a volunteer for Meals on Wheels for 15 years. When he started to lose his vision at age 83, Derek contacted City Mission and has spent the last 7 years sorting through cages of donations. Derek's work helps City Mission transform the lives of over 10,000 northern Tasmanians. He's an inspiring example of how Tasmanians can make a vital contribution to their communities at any age. NEL SMIT, an outstanding leader of environmental education across Tasmania for more than 40 years. As Sustainability Coordinator at Huonville High School, Nell manages the Huon Energy's Futures team, winning the prestigious Zayed Global Energy Prize in 2017. Passionate about connecting people to nature, Nell models and promotes local action to address biodiversity and climate change, including initiating the Tasmanian Youth Climate Leaders Program. Nell empowers students, teachers and the community in educating for positive solutions. Owen Tilbury, whose film festival uses thought-provoking films and in-depth discussions to inspire positive change. As director of the Tasmanian Breath of Fresh Air Film Festival, Owen has built a national network to drive projects that provide benefits to business and the broader community. These include an open access process for fast-tracking grassroots projects and a free online hub for personal, group and regional action. As president of the Great Regional City Challenge, Owen helped fund 12 new initiatives to enhance community life in the Launceston area. Brian Williams has devoted over 50 years to Scouts and has been a highly respected mentor to thousands of young people. Under his leadership, the Blackmans Bay Scout Group has become one of the largest and most successful in Tasmania. Brian organised the inaugural Australian venture in Launceston, bringing together young people from around Australia and overseas for 12 days of fun and activities. Since 1983, Brian has trained and nurtured more than 100 leaders in the Venturer Scout section, ensuring the ongoing success of the organisation.
Of nominees, could you all stand up? I think all four of you are here this afternoon, and let's give them all a huge round of applause. Congratulations, all of you. Your Excellency, if you would join us again on the stage to tell us who is the 2021 Tasmanian Senior Australian of the Year.
So the 2021 Senior Australian of the Year for Tasmania is Brian Williams.
Congratulations, Brian.
What am I doing here?
Well, I guess I'll ask some questions. We'll see if we can find out. When did you first get involved with Scouts? How long has this been?
I was an illegal cub, age 7. The cub leader didn't take my date of birth down, so I was invested as a cub at 7 when the minimum age was age 7.
And since then, how many badges do you have now?
Down at the Scout Hall there is a great big plaque there with all the badges I've collected over the many years, many activities I've been on and many that I've earned myself.
In your Scout group, I mean, it's an organisation that has kind of gone in and out of fashion a little bit. What do you do to keep it relevant, and why is the organisation still so important today?
We're currently going through a review in Scouting. We had one in 1973 and we're now sort of revamping the whole of Scouting. And we're trying to make it a little bit more relevant to the youth of today. my sort of involvement has meant that kids have come in age 6 into Joey Scouts and have gone through, we only go as far as Venturer Scouts, at 18, you know, as mature, almost mature adults. The amount of change is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate to see that change is taking place during that, and we just want to keep on doing the same thing.
So your next badges will be on Instagram and Facebook then. I mean, the time that you've put into it, what is the pleasure for it in you? What is the reward for you?
Well, I've already mentioned the fact that, you know, the kids going through, you see what they achieve. The number of things that I've been involved with, I've led 2 Australian contingents to overseas jamborees. All of these things have been great fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. So I'm getting an award here for doing things that I thoroughly enjoy. You know, you're getting an award for having fun, which is terrific.
And I mean, one of the things about Scouts is competency, but it is also friendship, fun, and building those relationships. How do you see that involvement in Scouts play out in people later on in their life? Because you must see people become adults, have their families.
One of the key ones there, I think, is really leadership. We're training kids with leadership skills, and under the new system of Scouting, we have got the Joeys, the Cubs, the Scouts and the Venturers progressing with an award scheme that goes right the way through. Whereas previously the Joeys had had their award scheme, the Scouts had had theirs. They were all just a little bit disjointed. So the new system has a great flow through, and one of the emphasis is on leadership, giving kids leadership skills, as well as giving them the skills to be able to go out there and be part of the community.
And you're obviously a great leader yourself. Who would you like to thank? Who supports you to do the work that you do?
Okay, I'm the group leader, but I've got a team of leaders, and I've got a team of fantastic leaders, and they are the ones that keep things going. They are the ones that have kids knocking on the door wanting to join because the activities are challenging, the activities are fun. So it's really, I'm just the one who coordinates everything, and it's the other leaders in the group that are really got the everyday kid contact, which is great.
You really don't do any work. You're just having a great time.
Right.
Why is it so important that we're challenged, that young people are challenged?
That's a difficult one. It's, I think kids out there are looking for some form of challenge. Not all of them. Some of them are just quite happy to come along to Scouts and participate in the activities and just enjoy themselves. Others want to get involved with the award scheme. Others want to work towards getting their Scout medallion or their Queen Scout award. They are challenged. They love being challenged and want to move on to the next thing. Scouting caters for everyone.
Brian, thank you so much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Before moving on to our final award this evening, or this afternoon, I would like to acknowledge our generous partners who together make this awards program possible. And before we acknowledge them, let's acknowledge our Wiper Down. Solid work. Our National Diversity and Inclusion partner Chevron help us inspire and foster unity and connect people of all ages and backgrounds. The Australian of the Year category partner, Australia Post, supports our national recipient in the delivery of their vital messaging nationwide. The Department of Health is our category partner for the Senior Australian of the Year award. And the Department of Home Affairs is the Local Hero category award partner. We also thank our broadcast partner, the ABC, who will screen the national announcement live on ABC and iView on January the 25th. The ABC help us connect with local communities all around Australia on radio, TV and online. Our media partner, Australian Community Media, help inspire millions of Australians by telling the stories of extraordinary state and territory recipients and supporting calls for nominations nationwide. Our alumni partner is the International Day of People with a Disability. Our official hotel partner, the Intercontinental Hotels Group, we thank you so much for your warm hospitality for our travelling nominees and recipients. We'd like to thank our cultural partner, the Australian National University, who through schools of art and music and the amazing students there have designed the trophies and composed the music being played for our recipients today. And I think their photo music is the best I've heard. It's very moving. Our thanks also goes to our exhibition partner, the National Museum of Australia, who delivers the Australian of the Year exhibition and throughout the country throughout the year. And last but not least, we appreciate the continued support of our legal partner, Minter Ellison. Please join me in thanking all of our partners for their ongoing support. Our final award for this afternoon is the 2021 Tasmanian Australian of the Year. I would like to invite the 2020 Tasmanian Australian of the Year, Dr. Jessica Melbourne Thomas, to the stage to share her experience as Australian of the Year for Tasmania over the past year. Please make her welcome.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Wiper. And hello, everybody. When I stood on the stage for this time last year, I think I was in such shock. I had about 5 words total in my head and a complete lack of ability to string them together in any coherent way. And I actually have to admit that today, if anything, I'm feeling more humbled, inspired and uplifted, and my heart is absolutely racing, which is wonderful. As the year has gone on, I have in fact had some opportunities to speak coherently, as well as having been extremely fortunate to make wonderful connections, particularly with the recipients in other categories from Tasmania for last year, Graham, Tom and Will, but also with an incredible network of amazing people across Australia. And I think that given the way that the year has panned out, connections with people have been more significant and important than ever for all of us. And, you know, as we've all said, wow, what a year 2020 has been. I would like to urge you all to, please don't think that that things will go back to normal after 2020 or when the pandemic has passed. Not least because of the journey that is immediately ahead of you as nominees and recipients, but because I think there is no normal now. Because of climate change, our children will live in environments that are completely outside of recent human experience. Because of the effects that we're having on habitats globally, it's actually reasonably likely that we will see more pandemics. So 2020 is a taste of things to come, both in a frightening way, but I also think in a hopeful way. Now is our time to make positive change. The things that you all do as community leaders are so hugely significant in shaping the way that we respond to the challenges of the future. And as we move into that future, I would ask you please to keep asking the hard questions, keep asking for positive change. Ask whether the date on when we celebrate Australia Day is suitable anymore, and ask what it might mean to Indigenous Australians. Keep asking yourselves and others what you can and want to do with this wonderful opportunity. Perhaps ask why there are no children in this room today, when in fact theirs is the future that we're building. Keep asking what a better world looks like and fight for it. Thank you so much again, and my hearty congratulations to all the nominees today.
Thank you so much, Jess, for that provocation and your courage to speak. And I guess that is the blessing and burden of having a platform, is then being able to use it as powerfully as you can. And now we're going to hear a little more about the Australian of the Year category before we meet our nominees.
History shows us the amazing fields of endeavour that have been covered off in the Australian of the Year awards. We've got musicians, we've got scientists, medical researchers, even some sports people. I think it's a broad reflection of the qualities of people we have around the nation.
Unlike me, you don't have to go overseas to realise your dreams. You can realise them right here. Just look into your own heart and look to your own land.
I'm going to continue to be myself, keep standing up for what I believe in, and hopefully by doing this, other people will follow.
Our Australians of the Year are truly extraordinary. We can all be proud of the contributions they have made to our nation and the remarkable things they have achieved. They lead us, inspire us, help those in need, and make our country a far better place.
I think it's really important for all Australians to really think about who these people are and what they've done, not just for themselves, but for everyone.
There's a temptation to take the easy route. I think that life will be better if we mould it to make it as comfortable as possible. Time is short, get amongst it and take your kids with you.
If I can make a difference to someone else's life, if they can draw some strength, hearing what I say and knowing that I'm speaking on their behalf, it'll give me a lot of hope.
I thank from the bottom of my heart those of you who give of your time, give of your expertise, give of your hearts, and especially those who risk their lives to make this country the greatest place on earth. Thank you.
The Australian of the Year, they really do reflect what's important as an individual and collectively as a nation to the rest of the country, and they'll continue to shape the nation as we move in the future.
And the nominees for the 2021 Tasmanian Australian of the Year are...
Dr. MADELINE GREEN, who co-founded a social enterprise that promotes sustainable sharing of biological samples. Each year, researchers collect around 94 million plant and animal samples, which are usually discarded after use. MADELINE established Otlet, an online database where scientists can submit a record of their research samples and search those from colleagues around the world. This catalogue of samples saves scientists the time and expense involved with their own sample collection while reducing waste and the impact on animals and plants. Dr. George Razay, whose groundbreaking research has led to a new process for diagnosing and treating dementia, normal pressure hydrocephalus and Alzheimer's disease. In 1998, George established the Launceston Memory Disorders Clinic and the Dementia Research Centre, at which he began his research. His work is helping dementia patients return to old hobbies, be cured of incontinence and walk without a frame. George is a Clifford Craig-funded researcher in recognition of his contribution to medicine. Joe and Fiona Revolt, who are helping adolescents and young adults suffering from bone marrow failure syndromes. After losing their daughter Maddie to aplastic anemia at age 26, Joe and Fiona founded Maddie Revolt's Vision. The charity has raised over $9 million for medical research to find a cure. In 2018, Joe and Fiona established the Asia-Pacific region's first National Centre of Research Excellence in bone marrow biology. The centre provides much-needed infrastructure in the nationwide effort to find a cure. Grace Tame, a brave and outspoken advocate for survivors of sexual assault. From age 15, Grace was groomed and raped by her 58-year-old maths teacher, but was barred from speaking out about her experience under Tasmanian law. With her Let Her Speak campaign, Grace took her case to the Supreme Court, becoming the first Tasmanian woman to win the right to publicly self-identify as a rape survivor. Grace continues to advocate for legal reform and to raise public awareness about the impacts of sexual violence.
We have 3 of our Australian nominees in the room with us this afternoon, and our final nominees join us on Zoom. Welcome, Joe and Fiona. Hello, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. It's so wonderful. Can the nominees here please stand up where you are, and can we all show our gratitude for the incredible and diverse work they've done? Can I please ask Your Excellency to join me on stage one more time to tell us who is the 2021 Tasmanian Australian of the Year.
So the 2021 Australian of the Year for Tasmania is Grace Tame.
Grace, congratulations.
Thank you.
I saw you both fighting back tears and trying to swallow your gum on the way up.
I didn't have any gum, it's just tears. Happy tears though, thank you. It's such an honour to be nominated even just for something like this. But alongside Madeline, George, Joe and Fiona, you know, the work that you do is incredible and you're so worthy. This is for survivors. This is for all of us. I share this award with every single one of you. I'm speechless, ironically. Let her speak and now I can't say anything.
Grace, I think something that it's maybe interesting for people to understand is that moment where you make that decision to take it public, to be the face of the campaign, to give that part of yourself over to public life. How did you go through that process of making that choice?
I don't think it was really a conscious choice. I've just always wanted to help people, and I truly believe that when we share our stories and when we listen to each other, we connect as human beings. And we also foster understanding, and that's the foundation of education and it's the foundation of progress. I don't give two thoughts really about doing this. It's just part of who I am, to want to help.
You worked with people to achieve change in legislation here in Tasmania. It's still an issue in other parts of Australia.
It is. It's an issue all around the world. So much of what sexual violence actually is still not understood. The physical component, for instance, is only a very small component of a much larger, multi-dimensional trauma that extends far beyond the individual who's targeted. It affects us as a community, it affects families. And so it's so important, I think, that lived, experienced survivors have an opportunity to share their stories, because it's in those stories that we get the information, the knowledge that we need to inform structural change. We can change hearts and minds, but to change cultures, we need to change institutions, practices that still, unfortunately, as they currently are, enable predators. And they capitalise on those opportunities all the time.
What does a world look like when we've changed those structures? Can we even begin to imagine that yet?
Look, it's a slow process. All change is a slow process, but I don't know about having necessarily a clear vision, but so long as it's a positive vision and that we're working together all the time towards a better world, I think that's what's important. Because we may not always agree on things, on different issues. You know, we may not see eye to eye, but remember we share our common humanity, and there's always room for improvement. There's always room to be better. And yeah, if you're coming from a good place, from love, with good intention, that's the most important thing.
You talk about the importance of being multidimensional, and you yourself are very much multidimensional, an accomplished runner, an artist, doing work with John Cleese, and also a really important campaigning that you've done for other causes, for Black Lives Matter in Australia.
Yeah.
Why did you want to pick that up and elevate that as a cause?
Well, I think that we can always do something for other people. It doesn't matter how small a gesture is, even if it's just smiling at a stranger on the street when you walk past them, that has a huge potential impact on another human being or other human beings. I think also too, you know, you can always find a way to give a little bit more purpose, a little bit more meaning to everyday actions. You know, whatever your skills are, I guess you can harness those skills and use them, apply them to different areas, like I said, in even just simple ways. So I guess everything that I do, I try to do with purpose, and I'm driven by a fundamental love and appreciation of community, of my family and my friends.
As a survivor of rape and sexual assault, you also flourish now as a person. How can we kind of advance that conversation beyond just being a survivor to go, well, no, I will go on to flourish, I will? How do you talk to survivors about that?
Just empowering each other all the time. This is such an important symbol. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't think that a survivor of rape has ever been awarded in such a way. And that's huge. It's hugely empowering for that community, recognising and normalising the act of speaking out. There's no shame in surviving. The shame sits at the feet of predators, of perpetrators of these crimes. You know, we're all human beings at the end of the day, and there's no specific way to address survivors other than with love, like you would love anybody else.
Who's supported you? Who would you like to thank today?
Oh, there's so many people.
You have all the time in the world.
I don't. Well, first and foremost, my family. My mother is sitting here in the room today with me. And my dad, of course, who isn't in the room because of COVID. Not that he has COVID. Well, he's watching at home. My other family members, my cousin Eloise, who's not only my family, but she's my best friend, and she has helped me a lot with the activism work that I've done as well. But really, every survivor, every member of the community who has helped in the campaign in some way, whether that's just a signature on a petition or just saying, you know, keep going, it all contributes. You know, I value every single contribution. Every single contribution matters. Sorry, I'm so emotional.
You don't need to apologise. I'm crying too. I'm pretty sure we're all crying.
Look, it's so powerfully symbolic. I just want to share one particular thing, and that's that this is the 10-year anniversary for me. 10 years ago, most of what I remember was lying on the floor on my back, wishing that I wasn't here, feeling very alone. And now here I am, standing alongside of you guys, and that is so beautiful. We're all in this together. Thank you so much.
Grace, thank you. Thank you so much, Grace, and thanks for your incredible courage to speak with such honesty from your heart. I'd like to now invite Her Excellency Professor the Honourable Kate Warner, Governor of Tasmania, to share some final words with us. Governor.
Thank you, Rick. Well, what an amazing ceremony this has been. We had such amazing people, such amazing nominees, and such amazing finalists. So I think we've got so much to learn from each of them. I think, EDNA, your wonderful giving, your generosity and your kindness, how amazing is that? Toby, how inspiring you are in relation to activism for climate change, and that is so important. Brian, for your wonderful work with Scouts and young people. Really, I think the Scouting movement, and I've had a bit to do with it since I've been Governor, I think is an amazingly supportive one for young people. And of course, Grace, with the wonderful work you're doing with empowering sexual assault survivors. So my background is as a criminologist, so I have learnt over the years quite a lot about sexual assault, and I realise how important it is to empower survivors, how important it is for them to have the strength to be able to speak about this, to report it initially, and then actually to get through often court proceedings which can be extremely harrowing. So it is such an important message. All of you, I think, have an amazing year and life ahead of you and wonderful work to be done. So I hope that you all do have an excellent 2021 and that you are able to use this award. I'm sure you will be able to for the best. So thank you so much. And I think I should also thank Rick for emceeing, and also I'm sure the people who have been responsible for the selection too, for their hard work, and also the partners to the program. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being here today.
Governor, thank you. And what a privilege it is to be here in this room today as well, which has been a huge community effort by all of us that we're even allowed out. So well done, everybody. I think we get a round of applause for that as well. Fantastic. I invite you now to please stand. We don't get to have drinks or canapes, but what we can do together is stand and sing the Australian National Anthem with our Army Band, who are stealthily hidden behind the boards here. Thank you very much. The Australian Army Band, and I think you can be seated again. It was probably right not to sing as well. I think it's probably the safer option. Or did we just think that was the intro? I don't know. Congratulations again to Edna, Toby, Brian and Grace. Let's give them another round of applause. Incredible. This afternoon's awards recipients are now both our Tasmanian recipients for 2021 and our representatives at the Australian of the Year Awards nationally. The Prime Minister will announce the national recipients on the eve of Australia Day, live at 7:30 p.m. from the National Arboretum in Canberra. On behalf of all of us, I wish our recipients and our nominees every success in your future endeavours. To our recipients, we wish you all the best in the next stage of the program, Tasmania Represent. Remember, if you'd like to share this afternoon's events, your reflections on it and your experiences, please use the hashtag Australian of the Year, AUS of the Year. And that brings us to the end of the formal proceedings today. Please do think deeply about people who inspire you in your communities, networks and families, and message me on Facebook about them. I'll get them on the program. And then nominate them for the 2022 Australian of the Year Awards at australianoftheyear.org.au. And finally, may I ask, upon the departure of Her Excellency, the Honourable Kate Warner, Governor of Tasmania, that our 4 recipients stay in the room to capture some more official photographs with you, please. Please now stand for the departure of Her Excellency. Award recipients, nominees, distinguished guests, family and friends and supporters of the Australian of the Year Awards, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon and evening. Thanks very much.